Block.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're on.
You're famous at this point.
Anything you want to say?
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Cheers. Happy drafting.
Cheers.
Good luck. Yeah, well, both of us need it. Both in that trying to win out stretch. So,
All right.
Good luck.
Good luck.
To these two guys and whatever the opposite that is.
Hello and welcome to week 5 of Team Draft LA Last Airbender season. My team, the Three Elements, is playing for our playoff lives here. Opened pretty well with Iroh Grand Lotus, Bossing Say, and Iroh's Demonstration are the clear standouts here. There's also a Lost Days and Path of Redemption. But I mean, there's really no choice here. Yeah, gonna keep an eye on try to keep an eye on the green that I passed to my left because of that Bossing Say. But yeah, of course, would much rather just start with an Iroh here and follow it up with a Firebending lesson. Can't ask for much better than that. Would also love to put an Octopus form in this deck, and then Airbending lesson is probably the next best card after Firebending lesson. But yeah, very, very happy with the 1-2 punch of Iroh Firebending lesson to kick things off here. 2 very strong premium cards and a nice direction that I can shoot for. Origin of Metal Bending, Blasting Jelly. There's a pick 3 Hakoda in here. Sold Out is notable as well. I don't mind, same reason I like having Octopus form. I would also play Origin of Metal Bending in an Iroh deck in this format. The good removal spells costing 4 or 5 mana, as we see with like Sold Out and Kicked, Firebending Lesson, Lost Days. So having the 1 or 2 mana ways to blow out what could be your opponent's only chance at getting rid of your Iroh, for example, is just pretty important, pretty backbreaking in this format. All that said, that pick was a pretty clear Knowledge Seeker. That card is just fantastic. A growing vigilant threat that leaves behind a clue. It's synergistic with waterbending in all kinds of ways. Helps out with the draw 2 deck. Just one of the better 2-drops in the format. And also the most signally thing here, looking like blue is going to be pretty open so far. And so I'm going to follow up with Lost Days here. It's also just fantastic with Iroh. Notable that green and white seem to be coming this way as well, but nothing good enough for me to get pushed off quite yet. Notable also that I did pass the Hakoda earlier, and now I'm going to end up passing a Haru here. So in my mind, I'm putting Sam to my left and green-white allies. But there's not really much I could do about that. Like, if I just take Haru, then he's going to get, Wall-Top Sentries or Badger Mole or whatever he wants, really. And so I'm just going to keep, Watery Grasp is another great blue card. So I'm just going to stay in my lane here and not worry too much about what Sam might or might not be taking. It's also a Warship here, which has only gone up and up for me over the course of this season. As I was saying before, the instant speed removal specifically being so expensive and relatively hard to come by in a team draft pod makes it that much more difficult to deal with the warship in any respectable way, or in any efficient way, I should say. Back to the draft here, we see another origin of metal bending, but I like Hama and barrels for where I'm at. More barrels because I'm going to be looking for some water bending stuff, like Hama, for example. And I'm also looking to play at least 3 colors because of the IRO. But this early in the draft, I'm going to go for the 2-for-1 potential of Hama over the utility of the barrels. And pick 7, we get Wheel of Lost Days. I would, of course, love the Simic Duel there as well, but Lost Days is too good in an IRO deck to pass there. Pick 8. There is nothing to speak of here, really. Sox Haiku is a blue lesson, of course, but it's one of the few that I'm hoping not to play. Whereas, the green has been flowing to me here, so I think there's not much of a chance of seeing any in pack 2, but I could still end up playing green in pack 3. And I think the Earth Village Ruffins has some, the utility of being a hybrid cost thing keeps me a little more open. I do also think the card is just okay rather than completely unplayable. Against red aggro specifically, it will be a 2-for-1 that completely shuts down their early game in a lot of cases. Pick 9, I will opt for the barrels here, once again over Origin of Metal Bending. Still not committed to being base green by any means. And first copy of barrels is something I'm almost always going to play in this position. Pick 10, we've got, no one seems to be playing black. No one's opened the rares that give them the reason to get into black. Deadly Precision is the most powerful card in this pack, but it's also, like I said, doesn't seem like people are getting into black, whereas I've passed a bunch of good green and white to my left, so I figure I might as well take the Airbender's Reversal. There's also upside to picking the instant speed thing. Just removing as much instant speed play from our opponent's card pool. There's some very minor benefit to that. I'm not saying it's like not worth hate picking if there was something else that I would actually play in that pack, obviously, but that's just sort of the tiebreaker. And moving on to pack 2 here. We get Earthbending Lesson, Firebender's Ascension, Epic Downfall, Waterbending Lesson, Kyoshi Battle Fan. Very, very unexciting pack with the Firebender Ascension. Oh, and Zhao. It's a double rare pack, but they're both mediocre red 2-drops. That's pretty unlucky in this format, where they're just something like in the range of 20 to 30 bomb rares and mythics. I'm going to take Waterbending Lesson here. I'm, happy being base blue and getting as heavily into blue as possible. It's also a lesson for Iroh, etc. Pick 2, Messenger Hawk would be fine here. Same with Fortune Teller. Another pretty weak pack. So notably a How to Start a Riot here. And basically nothing else. The Fire Nation Engineer is another pretty good black card, but for me it's between Fortune Teller and Hawk, and I just opt for the cheaper one. Help out the curve a little bit. Pick 3, there's another water grasp. There's a shared roots and another firebending lesson. I'm awfully tempted to take shared roots here. I guess I'm not that tempted. It's pretty clear that I'm going to take firebending lesson, and this mostly solidifies me as being Izzet or heavy blue, weak red, splash green, that kind of shape of the deck. I do love a shared roots though. Pick 4. It's another barrels, otter penguin, fire sages, iguana parrot. I think I go with the land here. It's feeling like I'm going to end up with, my playable count for this point in the draft is pretty high, and my card quality is also above average, I would say. And all these other cards that I would play don't seem... They seem fairly replaceable. Fire Sages is a strong 2-drop in a heavier red deck, but like I said, I'm clearly going to be heavier blue than red in this deck. See another Fire Sages here, but once again... Oh, and the War Balloon. Seeing a surprising amount of red coming from my left, considering that Sam ended up in Boros. Once again, I value the Fire Nation worship pretty highly. Even like I was saying, over the War Balloon, because the War Balloon often, you see it as a benefit to turn it into a creature permanently, but that also just leaves it open to removal more easily. 3 toughness versus 4 matters. The clue that the warship makes, I'm pretty happy to take a koi here. That's just one of the, if not the best, of the land cycler cycle in the format. Pretty surprised to see Epic Downfall Wheel here, but it's just another sign that just nobody is in black in this pod, at least not yet. And I could play it if the fixing gets there, or I could side into it if needed. Rumble Arena, again, looking to play some amount of 3 colors in this deck. So while I prefer Rumble Arena in a deck that is actively earthbending, it's still just a pretty solid land here that gets you colors you need. Here there's nothing I'm very excited about. This doesn't feel like a Bender's Waterskin deck as much as as much as I've been talking about all the colors I want to play. I still think that it's a little bit too weak. I also haven't picked up any of the octopus forms, or that would be one of the main reasons to use Bender's Waterskin, is to do something like tap out for Iroh and then untap and have octopus form up on the opponent's turn. I don't know. Just taking the blue card here to send the signal that that you cannot be in blue next to me. Iguana Parrot is a reasonable 10th pick, I think. I will take the War Balloon on the wheel here. Once again, a little surprised to see that one going so late, especially after passing multiple Fire Sages and Firebender's Ascension and that sort of stuff. Still not actively looking to play it though, as I feel you need to be firebending to to actually be excited about playing it. Pack 3, we finally opened a good rare with the Banded Air Temple. It is, of course, off color for me. But if I were to take a card from my deck, it would be Benevolent River Spirit, Professor Zay, which would both be fine. Octopus Form, which I do want. I would also be happy with a Quench. But it seems too dangerous to pass the Air Temple here. And I do sort of have hopes of just playing it occasionally. If I have, I have a couple of 5-color fixers already that could just randomly activate it sometimes. We see another Hakoda here, and yeah, another Octopus Form, but Dragonfly Swarm is just 2 premium pickup for my Is It Lessons deck. Hakoda, while you will see it just kind of go off occasionally and rip a bunch of allies off the top. That's going to be much harder to do in a 6-person pod. The ally density is going to be much lower than in an 8-person pod. So harder to get the ally strategy going specifically. But also there are just so many ways to get extra cards in this format that Hakoda playing an extra ally or 2 off the top doesn't even feel that overtly powerful. It is still a very good card, and if I were white, I would always play it, but no reason to hate it is what I'm getting at. Taking the Foggy Swamp here. I got this Epic Downfall. I could potentially side into a little package of black cards. Foggy Swamp is just really, really powerful against aggro in particular. There's just not much lifelink in this format, so any little bit you can find is going to be kind of a big help. Katara over, first time flyer here. Seems pretty clear, and now I get my Octopus Form, which I'm very, very happy about. Still double Hama left in the pack as well. But pretty weak pack overall, so felt pretty lucky to get an Octopus Form back there. And last fresh pack here, we see Aang's Journey, Abandoned Attachments, and another Meditation Pools. Opt to go for Aang's Journey here. A little unfortunate that all the cards for my deck are seemingly bunched up together in the packs. Yeah, would really love to take this Meditation Pools, but Aang's Journey is going to help make things a little more cohesive, I think. Non-creature, Lesson for Iroh, etc. We get back Zay and River Spirit out of this pack we opened too. Yeah, blue seemed just very, very open to me. So I was also surprised that my teammate Mike was also heavily into it, because I feel like I was just getting everything back that I wanted to. Yeah, opt to go for Zay here, just out of curve considerations. I wouldn't mind having one more top end piece, but I think I also needed one more bottom end piece. And Professor Zay does have that booty. Once again, just wheeling everything that I could ever hope for. And in this case, if I didn't have Octopus Form, I would definitely snatch it up here. But like I said, I feel like I could use one more piece of top end here, so we'll take the River Spirit in this case. And the deck is looking pretty nice. In terms of decks in this format overall, having Iroh and a lot of card draw to find him is nice, but it is still just the one bomb rare, which weirdly enough can feel like not enough in this format sometimes. But yeah, overall, really happy. Feel like I have great curve, great interaction, great card draw, great top end. Just and then the pick 9 Otter Penguin here just sort of seals the deal. Basically taking the only decent playable here with the Ostrich Horse. And both Hamas came through on the wheel too. But yeah, the deck is pretty much rolled up at this point. In terms of my build, I did start out initially going 18 lands with the Abandoned Air Temple as my 18th. And then sideboarded into more matchup appropriate stuff from there, such as bringing in Foggy Swamp, Spirit Keeper against aggro, and bringing in Epic Downfall against bombs, as you'll see. That's what we had. Once again, pretty happy. It's just a nice, like, blue-based Iroh Lessons deck. Next up, we have Mike, the other blue player in the pod, who's got Simic Lessons with Accumulate Wisdom, but the Earthbender Ascension, the Earth King, and Katara all just, that's what you want to be doing in this format. And then Alex had a nice Boros aggro with Planetarium and Roku. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, you'll get there.